Hello, welcome to Autobot YouTube channel. So today we are going to learn the library feature in UiPath. So we are going to understand what is library, how you can create the reusable component, how you can publish them together as a library, and how you can add it as a dependency to your automation process. Okay, so let us understand what is a library. If you log into the start, you can see a tab called library, right? So by going to this library tab, you can create a new library, which is same like a package. Okay. So library is nothing but it helps to create reusable components and publish them together as a library. Libraries can be added as dependencies to automation process. Okay, so while creating a project or an end-to-end automation process, there can be few of the steps that can be repeated, right? So it can be a login process, or it can be the population of some calculation of something. So all these small modules may be the repetitive process, right? For that, what we'll be doing, maybe we'll be creating a separate function, and we'll be invoking that inside the main workflow, right? So instead of that, what you can do is you can create a library for that. So library is nothing but it will help you to add it like an activity to your workflow. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me go to process and create a new process. Okay, so I'm going to name it like a library demonstration. Okay, I'm going to click on create. Okay, so let it start, and meanwhile I have opened another session. So let me click on this library tab. Okay, so we are going to create a demo library, or let me name it like a, okay, data interval. Okay, date interval. Okay, so it is creating the library. So let me go to the library demonstration process. Okay, so I'm going to click on this open main workflow, and on the left hand side you can see a lot of activities, right? Like SN activity, sequence activity, workline activity. So all these activities are provided by the UiPath, right? So these are the activities which is providing by the UiPath. Also, you can get the custom libraries which was uploaded by other users as well, right? For that, what we have to do, we have to go to manage package, and we have to install the respective packages to your project. Okay, then you can reuse that particular activity. So same like that, if you want to upload some activities, what you have to do, for that you have to create your own libraries. Okay, so that is the purpose of library. Suppose as I mentioned earlier, if you want to create a library for your login process, you can create it and you can publish that to either to Orchestrator or to your local. Okay, so once that is done, you can get that package in your local or from the Orchestrator host. Okay, from there you can get the details. So I will show you how you can create the library and how you can upload that to Orchestrator as well as to local, and how you can add that to your process. Okay, so here you can see different libraries are available. So these things are available created by different users. Okay, so same like that, UiPath is also providing a lot of activities. So if you want to get the libraries, what we have to do, we have to go to manage package and install that to your project. Okay, so same like that, once you create the library, you have to go to manage package and you need to add that to your project. Then only you can see that activity inside this activity panel. Okay, so let me show you what I'm going to do now before going to create a library. Okay, so the library which I'm going to create is very simple. Like I need to get the interval of a date. Okay, suppose if I'm getting a date like a 01/01/2022, sorry, 2022. Okay, I need to find the interval between today's date and that particular day. Okay, suppose in my user story or in my end-to-end automation, this is one action which I need to do repeatedly. Okay, so what I can do, I can create that particular task as a library. So before that, let me show you what is the normal process instead of creating a library. Okay, so usually what we have to do, we need to go for an assign activity now dot date dot to string. Then what should be the format? dd bar mm bar yy. Okay, I'm going to create a new variable here. I'm going to name it like a today's date. Okay, so that's it. So we got a today's date, and suppose if I'm getting a date, okay, as part of the process, what I have to do, I need to subtract it. Okay, subtract it from today's date, and I need to output that out of this flow. Okay, so that is the purpose of this library. So in this process I will show you what is the process that I'm going to convert to library. Okay, so I got the today's date. Then what I need to do, I need to subtract it from some date which I'm going to enter. Okay, so let me do one thing, let me add one more date, and okay, I'm just mentioning like another date. Okay, I'm going to just mention it like a 01 bar 01 bar 2022. Okay, then here what we have to do, we need to calculate the difference, right? Difference between these two dates. So I have already done a video for converting the string to date and to calculate the difference between the dates. Okay, so if you haven't watched that video, just go to the UiPath playlist and watch that video, string to date time. Okay, so let me show you how you can do that. So you have to write this function datetime dot parse exact. Okay, then what we need to pass, so we have to pass today's date. What should be the format? It should be dd m yy. Okay, then system dot globalization dot culture info dot current UI culture dot datetime format. Okay, so that's it, and we need to subtract it. We need to subtract it, right? So I'm going to add two brackets over here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this same thing. Okay, and I'm going to paste it here, and I'm going to close the bracket. Okay, and here the date should be another date. Okay, then dot to string of dd. So that's it, and we need to create a variable here. I'm going to name it like a interval. And what is the error? 2dd I expected. Okay, so I think we missed something. So we started a bracket over here where it is closing. Okay, it is closing over here. Okay, we are starting a bracket over here. Okay, so that's it. Our error got resolved. Let me print out the difference. Let me add a message box. Okay, so that's it. Let me execute this one. Okay, so it gives the output as 25. So that is a date interval between today's date and the date which I have inputted. Okay, so that is a date interval. So what we have done now, we have used the activities and we created a flow. All right. So how you can convert this to a library? So I will show you how you can convert this to a library. For that, here I have opened a library, right? So this is a library. So in this, I'm going to create a new flow. So let me go to project. Instead of this new activity, I'm going to rename that. So I'm going to name it like okay, the same name, date interval. Okay, so whatever the name that you're going to give here, this will be the name of the activity. Okay, so here you can see the assign activity, right, or the message box. So whatever the name that you're going to give here, that will be the name that you can see it on top of that activity. So I'm going to name it like date interval. Click on OK. Just open that activity. Sorry, open that flow. And here what we need an input argument, right? So I'm going to name it like a input date. So it should be in and the format should be string. And what should be the output? So it should be interval, all right? And what should be the direction? It should be out, and the format can be string. So here what we need to do, we need to I'm going to use activities, assign activities. I'm going to use multiple assign. You can use assign or multiple assign. Okay, and here what we have to do, we have to get the input, right? So whatever the input that we're going to input, that we have to get it. So this process that we need to convert to a library, right? So we have to use this same thing. Now data. So I'm going to use the same thing over here, but I'm going to create a new variable, today's date. Okay, so the first one is done, and what should be the second thing? We need to calculate the interval, right? So I'm going to copy the same formula. I just paste it over here, but here the date should be, today's date is fine, and the next date should be, another date should be the input date, right? It should be the argument that we have created. So that is input date. Click on OK, and here we need to use the argument interval. Okay, so that's it. So here what we are doing, we got today's date and we converted that to TDMM format. And in this particular assign activity, what we are doing, we are just subtracting both this date by converting the string to date format. Okay, so whatever date that we are going to insert or input to this particular library, that will get convert to date format, and it will get subtract from today's date, and we will get the output as the interval. So that's it. So let me do one thing. If you want to test it, what you can do is let me do one thing. Let me add an assign activity and input date, right? So let me add some date. Let me add the same date, 0101 2022. Okay, and let me use a message box. I'm going to use interval. So that's it. Let me run this one. Okay, so you can see we got the output as a 25. So the library that we created, or the library that we just designed, is working fine. So let me delete this assign, as well as I'm going to delete this message box. Okay, so to our activity, we just need only this assign activity, and the calculation is happening inside this assign activity. Okay, so let me save it. Okay, now what we have to do, we need to publish this. Okay, so my package name is date interval, and I'm going to click on next. And you can publish it in two ways. Okay, either to your local, okay, to your local you can publish and you can add it to your process, or you can use the Orchestrator shared library field. Okay, so once you've done that, it will go to your Orchestrator. Okay, so let me show you first by adding that to our local repository. For that, I'm going to add that to my custom URL, that is my document and library. So let me click on next, click on publish. Okay, so let me go to document and go to library. Okay, so once this compilation got completed, you will able to see a package over here. Okay, NuGet package, you can see it over here. So it published successfully. Okay, so now you can see a new package got created in the library folder. Then what you can do is, we have this library demonstration flow is there, right? What I'm going to do is, let me delete this step as well as this step, and what I'm going to do is go to manage package. Okay, and here you can see a new go to the dependency. Okay, what you have to do is go to settings. Okay, then you have to add the local repository. For that, what I'm going to do is what should be the name of the new package? I'm going to name it like a date interval. Okay, so this will be the name of the package, and from where we want to get that library. For that, we have to go to what is library? So library, select a folder, and it should work fine. Yeah, so you can see a date interval got added. Click on cancel. Now what I'm going to do is go to manage package. Okay, here you can see a new package got came, right? So I'm going to click on that date interval. Click on this project or the library that we have created. So click on that, click on install. Okay, and click on save. So it's restoring the dependency to this library demonstration process. Okay, so we have created the library in this particular instance of UiPath, and we published that to our local repository. And in this process flow, I go to manage package, and I added the package date interval from that library folder, and I installed the library to this process. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just search for date. Okay, so now you can see an activity got came over here. Okay, so this is the one which we created. So this is our library, so we can use it here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to drag and drop this activity, and here you can see it is asking for an input argument and an output argument. Okay, so what we have to do, I'm going to insert the date here. Let me put it like a 02 bar 01 bar 2022. Okay, and what should be the output? So here we already created a variable, right? Interval. So let me use the same thing, interval. Okay, and let me delete this one, and in the message box I'm going to display the difference. Okay, so in this particular process I just drag and drop this activity that we have created. So here you can just input your argument, that is date that you want to subtract from today's date. So that date I have entered. So once that is done, inside this particular library the subtraction will happen and you will get the interval, and we are using a message box for displaying that. Okay, click on run file. So that's it, you are getting the interval between these dates. Okay, so this is how you can create the libraries, and you can use it in your flow. Okay, so if you look into this library, you have minimized number of steps, right? So initially for this particular process, it was around 3 lines was there, and it got minimized to one single activity. Okay, so there is a benefit of creating the library. So it will help to minimize the complexity, as well as you can reuse the components wherever you required in your project. So we have seen how you can publish the project to your local, and how you can get that to the manager package, and to use that in your process, right? So now what I'm going to do is how we can publish that to Orchestrator, and how we can get that to the Orchestrator feed in the manage package to deploy that to your project. Okay, so let me go to publish, click on publish. Okay, click on next. Okay, but here while publishing, it is asking to publish to Orchestrator shared library field. Okay, so it is not going to tenant field. Okay, and let me do one thing. Let me click on next, and I will show you one error that we may get. Okay, while doing the publishing. So it is compiling the activities. Okay, and it is publishing the package, and we'll be getting one error like a publish of library project to Orchestrator field. Package cannot be published to the shared field. Okay, so this package is not supposed to publish to the shared field, and it should go to the tenant field. So how we can resolve these error? For that, what you have to do is go to Orchestrator. Okay, so now I'm in tenant level. Go to settings. Okay, go to deployment. Mm, okay, scroll down. Here you can see for this library the feed is only host feed. Okay, that's why you are able to see only host field while publishing. So what I'm going to do is just make it to only tenant feed, and just save it. Okay, so we have made the changes in the Orchestrator. So now what we have to do is just refresh the connection in the studio. Okay, so now what all changes that you made to the Orchestrator, those settings will come to studio also. Then go to publish, click on next. Okay, now you can see publish to Orchestrator tenant field. Okay, instead of shared field, you can see tenant library field. Click on next, click on publish. So now it is compiling the activities. Going to tenant packages. Okay, okay, so in the library, after the publishing in the library, you can see a new library got uploaded. Okay, so a minute ago a new library got uploaded. So that's it. So we have successfully published a library to the Orchestrator. Okay, so whenever if you publish a package or the normal process, it will come here, but if you uploading a library, it will come in the library tab. So now what we have to do, so let me go to the another instance. Okay, so this date interval we installed from our local repository, right? So now what I'm going to do is go to manage package, go to Orchestrator tenant. Okay, so if you go to Orchestrator tenant, you can see a new library got added. Okay, date interval by Rahul. And what is the latest version of that? We have one more version added. Okay, so you can choose the version, like which version that you want to install or update, because already I have one date interval which I received from the local. Okay, that's why it's showing the another version. So if I want to update, I can click on update, or if you are directly installing from the Orchestrator instead of this local repository, it will ask you to install. Okay, so at that time you can click on install and you can save it. So once you update with the latest version, it will upload the or it will update the library with the latest version that you published. So in the left hand side you can see it is making the changes, and let me search for date interval. Yeah, here you can see this is the updated version of a date interval which I just updated from the orchestrator or from the manage package. Okay, so this is how you can create your own libraries for doing the reusability or for making reusability of your code. So wherever if you are repeating the code, like whether if it's a login process or if you're trying to write some log to your process, so all these things, if you can reuse that particular sequence, you can make it to a library and you can get it in the activity, and you can just drag and drop that wherever you require. Okay, so I hope you are very much clear about how you can create this library and how you can deploy that to both local as well as to orchestrator, and how you can go to manage package and install these libraries from local and from orchestrator, and how to use that install library in your process. Okay, so I hope this video is useful and clear to you. Please share this video to your friends, like the video, please give your valuable comments, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. So thanks for watching the video. Bye.